Welcome everybody. I think I'm all set. Nice to see you all, nice for you all to be here tonight at this presentation for the University of Northampton MBA, Master of Business Administration. I hope you're all safe and well wherever you're listening to me from or watching me from. My name is Professor Tim Campbell and I'm going to be taking you through just a short presentation of some highlights from the Northampton MBA program, and then about 15 minutes I'll do that, and then after that I'll take any questions that you might have at all. So let's get straight into the presentation then. What I want to do first is to just discuss about Stafford, because before I get on to the University of Northampton, with Stafford, they are the company, of course, that would have gotten you to this webinar and would have, that you'll be talking with the academic consultants there. So I just want to make it clear what the role of Stafford is. Now, there's the very first provider of distance learning education in the Middle East for 27 years now. You would have, I'm sure, been to the website and seen that it's the resource centre for 5 British universities, and has programs, about 60 of them, anything from certificates all the way to doctorates. But what Stafford does for the universities is it provides marketing, recruitment, administration, and student support services locally to the partner universities, because it's very difficult for the universities to do that from the home campuses in the UK. So that's the role it has with the University of Northampton. It's there to market and recruit students for the MBA programs locally in the Middle East and around Africa particularly. But once you're on the program, you are entirely a student of the university. The degree is awarded by the university, all of the academics are from the university and everything else. So just to be clear about the two, about how Stafford fits in. Let's look at Northampton then. So the city of Northampton, or the town of Northampton, is in England, and I've marked it here on my map with a big arrow. It's about 100 kilometers north of London, or about an hour on the train. And if you go to Northampton, which is a very old historic town, by the way, I believe there have been settlements there for about 5,000 years, and has appeared at various times throughout English history. But you'll find right in the middle of Northampton now is the brand new campus of the university that opened just not long ago, just about in August 2018. And on my picture there, it's everything within those red dots is the big campus they've got there, a fabulous new facility right in the middle of town. So a real addition to it. The university itself then, a very quick overview, because of course you'll have a look at the website itself and you'll be able to find out all about the university. But I can tell you that education dates back in Northampton for a long time, dates back right to about the 13th century. But the modern University of Northampton really traces its origins back to about the 1920s. And then, of course, it's developed to what it is today, the University of Northampton, with about 14,000 students and about 1,500 staff or thereabouts. And just a couple of highlights, I suppose. There's only 2 rankings that really matter in universities in the UK. There's the Research Excellence Framework and the Teaching Excellence Framework. And I say these are the ones that matter because these are government rankings, mandatory, things that universities must do. Whereas any other ranking you will look at will be from a newspaper or some other private organization. So these are the important ones. These are the government ones. And the University of Northampton was awarded gold in the Teaching Excellence Framework. And of course, the MBA is a taught degree, so that's the one that matters. And universities in the UK get either gold, silver, or bronze awards. So it's a really real reflection of its teaching excellence. And it's also been shortlisted 3 years in a row for the Business School of the Year. And only 6 business schools are shortlisted every year out of more than 120 in the UK. So to do that 3 years in a row is quite an achievement. So just a few highlights, but as I say, I do have a look at the university's own website and then make sure you're very familiar with the university and all the details about it. Because what I want to particularly focus on, of course, is the MBA program. This is the MBA program. This is the one that we teach locally. I'm coming to you tonight from the United Arab Emirates, from my office at home in Dubai, where no doubt all of yourselves are as well, at your own homes as the circumstances are at the moment. But the program we run here is exactly the same as they run on campus. It's got 8 modules, starts at critical issues in business and managing an organizational behavior. And then you follow it around until the business research project. So 8 modules in total. It takes about 18 months from start until finish. And the structure of it is, so you follow it around and there are exit routes. So if you didn't want to commit to the full MBA, or if you thought you might get part of the way through and for some reason you wanted to have a voluntary exit point, there are those. You do critical issues of business management, OB, marketing and leadership. Then you've done enough credits to get a postgraduate certificate, if that was what you wanted to do. But if you carry on, as the vast majority of students do, you do another 3 modules, you can exit with a postgraduate diploma. But then if you finish that business research project, you're all the way around the program, and you'll come away with your Master of Business Administration. So as I mentioned, it's 18 months from start to finish. There are 7 workshops in total, even though there's 8 modules. Why that is because we teach critical issues and managing organizational behavior together. We teach them on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then about 8 to 10 weeks later, come back and do financial decision making. And that's taught over a weekend, Friday, Saturday. About 8 or 10 weeks later, you do your next module, which is taught over a weekend, and so on. So that's how the program progresses. 7 workshops in total. First one's 3 days, and then there are weekend workshops for every subsequent module. And they're about 10 weeks apart. But I'm sure your academic consultant at Stafford would have given you the full timetable so you can see exactly when these dates are. This is, of course, is important. Our next start date, would you believe the 24th intake over here, is on the 11th to the 13th of June. But please, these workshops normally, of course, are face-to-face here in the UAE, taught by faculty from the university itself, who fly here and take the workshops. Of course, given the circumstances that we're in, all workshops are being held virtually until further notice. So it'll be the same tutors, the same materials, the same everything. It's just instead of having a face-to-face workshop, your tutor will do it online using the university's, what's called a Blackboard Collaborate system. And they'll use that system to teach you virtually rather than face-to-face until further notice. And of course, things can get back to normal, we hope, in the not too distant future. So what happens in these workshops? We introduce key concepts. There's short case studies, exercises, business games. We demonstrate where to find resources. And most importantly, I suppose, for many, is we explain how to successfully complete the assignments. Then once you've done that workshop, you'll work using the university's online virtual learning environment, which has all manner of different things, which will help support you as you do your assignments, which you'll hand in before the next module, and then you're on to your next workshop. And these workshops are great. There's great student satisfaction with them, over 95%. And I mentioned earlier on, Northampton really is known for its excellence in teaching. You're assessed. All modules are assessed through a variety of assignment-based. So it could be an essay, it could be a report, a case study, or even the finance module, half of it is just a multiple choice online quiz. So some form of assignment. There are no exams on this program. And the reason is that exams, Northampton tends to prefer assignments because they tend to give you time to really demonstrate your understanding and research a particular topic, rather than just showing how much you can remember, which is more what exams are about. And then your big project, your thesis, your business research project, that's about 15,000 words. Some of you will be familiar with that as a dissertation. Entry requirements are the very standard for an MBA program. To have a bachelor's degree, then at least 2 years of relevant work experience. And by relevant, we mean, it doesn't mean you have to be a manager particularly, just that you demonstrate managerial responsibilities. You plan, you organize, you lead and control. The vast majority of people, when they look at their jobs, will find they do have that. If you don't have the bachelor's degree, you can enter on the non-standard entry, but for this, we're looking for 5 years relevant work experience and above. Lots of support for the program. There's an international program leader, a lady called Rani, who you will meet on the program. She takes the business research project module. There's a local program leader, that's the role I take, and you'll meet me at the very first workshop. I take the managing and organizational behavior workshop and module. Every module has an expert tutor. So for marketing, you have a marketeer. For finance, you have a finance person, etc. There's administration, all of the university's own administration, plus we can help you locally if you can't find something at the university or somebody. The virtual learning environment I talked about, we call that NILE, the Northampton Integrated Learning Environment. That's where we set up virtual classrooms, we have discussion boards, we post materials, videos, anything we think is useful. And every module has its own virtual learning environment. And the university itself also has an online library with a massive amount of hundreds of thousands of journal articles and all sorts of other resources. So there is no need to have any physical books or articles or anything like that. Everything is available electronically. Just a couple of last things from me. Why the Northampton MBA? And I say this because I've taught on many MBA programs over the years. It's a very, very competitive price, and please have a look at the Stafford website for the current price because it can vary between intakes. So have a look on that for exactly what it is now. And I think it's very competitive considering the nature of this program, the taught nature of it, the duration, 18 months, the support, the teaching and assessment, all fit very nicely with this Northampton MBA into a very good practical package. And it strongly emphasizes vocational learning, job learning, practical stuff, as well as the theories. So this makes the program attractive to employers who are more interested in the practical knowledge that you learn, and also makes studying for the MBA more enjoyable and relevant to the students. So what I'm saying there is you will learn the theories of management, that's important, but what we also want you to know, how do those theories work in practice? As I say in my workshops, I want you to come into my workshop, and by the time you leave, I want you to be doing something different in your day-to-day management job the very next time you go back to it. So we're also very much thinking about how you can practically become better. There we are. That was nice and spot on time, 15 minutes. So that's just my key points, if you like, from my perspective of what I think is good about the Northampton MBA program. Of course, questions. Easiest way to do this with a group of you is just use your question box on the right there, and then I'll answer them for you. Please do just type them in, ask me anything you like. Here we go. Let's see, can I get exemptions? Yes, it is possible to get exemptions on a program. Oh, hang on, what was the question? I didn't read it fully. Completed an MBA from another university. Well, if you've completed an MBA, then you've completed the MBA. There wouldn't be any, you wouldn't get any exemptions to do another one. But and then it's got an or do you provide credits for a postgraduate diploma? Now, if you've completed an MBA, then your credits have been cashed in, if you like. You've used them, you've got your MBA. If you got partway through an MBA, then you could get the credits for the modules that you've already completed, as long as they map to the Northampton's program. So, for example, if you did at another university, you did an MBA and you did a finance module. Well, we've got finance on our MBA. So as long as we can match that, then that's fine. You'd be exempted from that module. Next question, I've been informed to submit a personal statement. Yes, that's important. The university just wants to know whether the program's right for you, essentially. They want to know a little bit about your practical experience. They want to know whether you, how it's going to benefit yourself and your career, these types of things. So it is important. They want to know that you've really thought about this program and thought about it as the right one for you. Feedback on my assignments. Yes, you do get feedback on your assignments. All your tutors will have a look at your assignments. You can ask them as many questions as you like, or they'll have a look at a draft and will give you plenty of feedback on that. And if you do happen to fail an assignment, you automatically get an opportunity to reset the assignment. Can I speak to my tutor in the UK virtually now due to COVID? Yes, absolutely you can. As I said, all of our workshops now are done virtually, where the tutor will deliver the materials. You can contact the tutor at any time and discuss whatever you might need by email or phone or Skype or whatever you need. Can I exit the program at any level? Yes, so as I showed you in the presentation, you can exit at the postgraduate cert level, postgraduate diploma, or the full MBA. And there are 5 of us that want to start the program together. Will there be a discount? There could well be. Have a talk to your academic consultant at Stafford and they'll help you out with that. Do you accept exemptions based on extensive managerial work experience? Not on work experience, because generally work experience won't cover the theories or a lot of the literature that we have on a particular subject, even though you may be practically extremely good at it. But academic work also needs to cover the theories types of work as well. So not on work experience, but as I said before, you can get exemptions based on your academic, if you've completed your academic module somewhere else. Why does this MBA not have an AMBA accreditation, and is it necessary? No, the University of Northampton has never sought the Association of MBA accreditations. This is something that's done by a private organisation that universities can voluntarily seek to do if they wish, so they get that AMBA stamp. Northampton, but of course all UK's and the universities are already quality controlled by the UK government itself. So why universities want to go down the road of having a private accreditation? Well, they have their reasons for doing it, and it can be a certain stamp that they have, but I don't see any particular reason for having it unless there was some reason yourself, your employer, for example, asked for it, but I just can't imagine that happening. But always, as I say, research these things yourself, but I don't see any particular need for a private accreditation. Oh, this is a good one. Will this MBA secure me a job internationally? Well, you're the only person that can do that, secure yourself a job internationally, but I can guarantee you it's going to help you a lot. British universities are well known for the quality of education around the world, so it's certainly going to give you a good helping hand for that. The maximum time to complete the MBA is 5 years, if I'm remembering rightly. So it takes 18 months, but if for any reason you needed to stop your study, have a study break, for example, it might be work or family reasons or something, you can suspend, as we call it, for up to a year. So you can take a break and then you carry on. But then as long as you finish the whole thing within 5 years. Yes, this is an interesting one about graduation ceremonies in the UK. How do I get my degree if I can't go? Yes, as some of you probably know, all of the British universities now have closed and they're all teaching online, virtually, for the on-campus students. And at the moment, they are worried about graduation ceremonies, which generally happen in about June and July, whether they're going to be able to go ahead or not. Now, there's been no decision made on that yet. But if they didn't go ahead, they they'll courier the, or even if you can't make a graduation, you'll be couriered your degree anyway. But if with the current situation, some universities, as I say, they're unsure whether they're going to go ahead. Other universities, if you can't come, they're offering you the opportunity to graduate next year, the following year. So anyway, in a bit of a roundabout way of saying that, it's no problem if you can't get to graduation, you'll still get your certificate. Where was I? Here I can see a question from Rima. What is the difference between the executive MBA and the one offered by Stafford? Would you believe ours actually is an executive MBA? It's just on the certificate, it just says Master of Business Administration. But for all intents and purposes, it is an executive MBA. The distinction originally between executive and normal MBA was executives were your very highest, were your high levels of management, and your MBA was more for your sort of mid-level of management. But in practical terms, what's really happened in universities is often there's really no difference between the two. So officially ours actually is an executive MBA, but there's just MBA on the transcript. But if you wanted a letter from the university saying it was an executive MBA, they can actually do that. Will online distance learning be on the degree certificate and transcript? No, it won't, because it is in fact a part-time program. It is a taught program. It's not purely online. If you miss the virtual workshops, will your studies be affected? No, because they'll be recorded. So you'll just be able to watch them. So that won't be a problem at all. Could you change to full-time in the UK campus? Well, hopefully they'll open again soon and you'll have that option. But yes, you could, because the modules and credits are exactly the same as the UK. So if ever you decided I'm going back to the UK or I'm going to the UK, you could very easily switch. What is the importance of the teaching excellence framework? Yeah, so as I said, and this actually relates to the Amber question. The government itself actually only has two rankings, if you like. They rank universities based on their research and their teaching. They call it Research Excellence Framework and the Teaching Excellence Framework. The one that's important for this program, because it's taught, is the Teaching Excellence Framework. So that's done by the government, and it's an official ranking that universities must do. It's not something you can elect to do or not to do. It's something that you must do. So that makes it a very rigorous type of a process. It makes it really the sort of ranking that's important. Right, I've got a question here. Or it's a question about the finance, about paying about how to pay the money and balances after, from Mugasira. Mugasira, please have a chat with your academic consultant at Stafford, and they'll be able to help you out with that, because they'll be able to particularly look at your situation and then advise you best. And I think my last question, I can see it, here we are. You're someone with a bachelor, you'll say someone without a bachelor but with management experience may attend the masters. Yes, I know someone who's a managing director of a company, but he doesn't have a bachelor. Can he attend? Absolutely, and that would be a fabulous person to have on the program. If you don't have a bachelor, you just need 5 years or more of management experience. And if your friend is a managing director of a company, then they're very likely to have that. And this is common to all MBA programs, because they realize it is, essentially a practical degree. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, they can map that to the equivalent of a bachelor's degree if you have 5 years or more. So that's absolutely fine. If you have a friend who doesn't have a bachelor's, but good managerial experience over 5 years, then absolutely, it'd be great to have them on the program. Right, here, I'm going to close that down because I think I've managed to answer everyone's there. But if you have any other questions for me, of course, you can always just send me an email at that address there. And all I can say is, everybody, thanks for listening wherever you are. As I say, stay safe. And all I can say is we all hope things will get back to normal soon, and that I'll see you on the University of Northampton MBA program. So thanks everybody for listening, and bye for now.